Hello, everyone. Welcome to the virtual online safety training Kiambu Region. Google, in collaboration with Sote Hub, brings it. Joining us today is an amazing person. What's special about him is that he's an educator, he's a Google educator, and he's very passionate about technology. And he'll take you through how to create internet skills and how you can use your skills to be to be able to develop yourself career, to be able to develop your career and also to for your personal development. Welcome all. Welcome, Mr. Michael.
Thank you so much, Masera. Uh, Everybody, feel welcome to this training for today. As you have already been told, I am Michael. You can also do the same. You can introduce yourself on the comment section from where you are following us. If you are on Facebook, you can use the comment section. If you are on YouTube, you can also do the same. Tell us where you are from and what are your expectations for the training of today. Now, today's training has a lot of discussions. We can learn a lot from each other also as parents, and so there will be plenty of times when we'll ask you to share your experiences, tips, and also advice. So be willing to share this with the other parents. Now, today's training is how to keep your family safer online. That's what we'll be looking at. Let's discuss about the challenges on parenting in the digital age. Modern kids have never known a time when they couldn't connect to the entire world via the internet. In fact, they probably spend more time online than anyone else. Certainly more than us parents. And let's dive in as parents and to better understand this landscape. Ask yourself, how old were you when you got hold of this technology, the one that we have today? Uh, for kids, the internet is becoming a part of their growing up. And children, being the fastest adopters of this technology, 15 to 24-year-olds, they typically outnumber the overall online population. The global population of young people aged 15 to 24 who are currently using the internet is 71%, and this percentage is significantly higher than the proportion of the total population that is using the internet, which is about 48%. So the internet is becoming more and more prevalent in the daily lives of our children and even in our own lives. And children will be more online from an early age. We can limit how often, but it will happen. The children of today, they are growing up in a very different world compared to our generation. And we need to understand that things move very quickly in today's connected world, unlike the world we grew up in. Now, most parents, they feel that they know what their teenagers are doing online, but the teenagers don't think so. We need to, on the comment section, tell us, what do you think actually children are doing online? When they are online, what do you actually think they are doing? You can use the comment section to tell us what you think as a parent that the children are engaged in. Okay. All right. What do you think the children are doing? You can put it up in the comment section. Probably you might come up with things like they are playing online games, they are downloading stuff, they are connecting with friends. And I don't know, do you feel you have a complete control of what they are doing? And how do you even monitor what they are doing online? That's something else I would like to hear. And we also need to discuss as parents and also help one another. How do you monitor what they are doing online, and how do you even control it? As I said, the children of today, they are growing up in a very different world compared to our generation. Many of you will have a firm grip on what the children are doing online, but here are a few examples of what they might be doing. And thank you. I can see Fred Sago is talking about playing games. That's very true. The digital technology has become a fundamental part of children's lives. Your children need to understand that the same principles they use offline, they need to apply them even when they are online. And although there is a tendency, maybe as parents, to limit access to technology, it can be an amazing force for good. And we again we can continue by saying about some of the things. What are your biggest concerns that you face when you're trying to keep your children safe? Because we need to understand this. On the comments again, try and talk about what are your biggest concerns. We know, as you are saying, and these are very true. What you're talking about, they are gaming, they are chatting with friends, uh, they are watching movies. But what are your biggest concerns? The ones that you face when you're trying to keep your children safe online. It's great to see that we have similar concerns. uh, let's hear what are your concerns. Here could be some parents might be concerned that they might feel concerned that they need to be more involved, or to be engaged. Some might be concerned that some their kids are more technology savvy than they are, which is okay. But remember that you have more experience in of the world than them. And again, some parents might feel concerned about safety, because when they are not monitoring their children, they might be wondering what are they doing. And this is an era of technology, and kids don't play outside anymore. This might be a point of concern for some parents. Mm. And again, people can pretend to be anyone online. They can hide behind fake profiles, to be anyone, and some parents might be concerned about this. And some might be concerned about that their kids might stumble upon something they shouldn't. Maybe even something that you put up online yourself when you are a little bit younger, and you are now concerned that your kids might stumble upon it, or maybe something that was put up by somebody else. Now, parents often forget the positive side of technology with all these concerns. Parents often forget the positive side of technology, and that they should embrace it and reinforce it. We want to embrace the opportunities that are available for our kids when they are online. You can, for instance, you can get access to a wealth of information for learning, and even to complete your homework, and we want our kids to have this access. And the internet also has, or technology has, a lot of interactive tools, games that are very useful for learning, and some that can even be used, that we can even use them as opportunities to play with our kids. We can play together with as a family. Again, we also find ways to and opportunities to find work. uh, we can also, using the same technology, who might be creative, they can find a way to showcase their creativity, for instance, by starting a blog, or even following their favorite artists. These are some of the benefits of technology. However, the internet remains complex. It's a complex place which was not built intentionally for children, and it is not regulated as much as other children services. And we should see technology as an enabler as parents, but also with some much power comes much more responsibility, and a need to better understand of how we are using it. Therefore, it's imperative you get involved in your child's online activity, and guide them through it safely. We are going to go through the common areas that children can come up against when they are actually browsing online. This next slide actually forms the whole training for today. This is our whole agenda of what we will be doing. How do we set digital ground rules for the family? How do we discover and manage family friendly content? And how do we protect your family's online and privacy and security? Privacy and security is as important online as it is offline. And straight away, we can go to the first part. How do we set the digital ground rules? I know as families we have very many rules, but we also need to set the digital ground rules, and every family is different, and therefore the limitations and the restrictions and the guidelines that you want your family to live with is up to you as an individual family. So setting ground rules can help you enjoy the best of the internet, while understanding that there is a limit where the goods of the internet can become a negative impact if especially it is abused or it is overused. And here is another activity. What on the comment section, what kind of ground rules do you currently have for your family? Have you set up any ground rules, or is it do what you want when you want? Do you have any guidelines that your family follows, especially on the digital world? Use the comment section again, and let us know and let us discuss this, because we can help one another. We are parents, we have seen this, we can share, and we can help one another. On the comment section, you can put up your comments. um, we need to understand that uh, we need to understand that there are three main activities we recommend, that you set ground rules around when it comes to the digital world. This includes: one, the screen time; two, the kind of information that a family member can share; and three, the way you behave when you are online. Those three areas we are going to look into this now, and we can start off by establishing a family value online. And you need to consider their behavior when you are setting these ground rules. Consider managing their behavior from this perspective, establishing, like, now, one, establishing how you expect them to act when they are online, and also around treating others as they would want to be treated, and only saying online what they will be able to say face to face. These three areas are great places to start to discuss this as a parent. When it comes to the screen time, uh, how do you currently approach? Again, you can let us know on the comment sections. How do you currently approach the screen time with your children? Are you good with screen time yourself? Because that's something else. uh, Screen time, being online, has some advantages. It has some positives. Like, your kids would be able to complete homework. They can be able to search for information online. They can even be able to submit their work remotely. We are using the internet a lot nowadays, especially with the current situation of COVID-19. Now, and we also use the internet to connect with friends and family. We can keep in touch with what's happening around our families and around with our friends, but there are some downsides. Like maybe the screen time can have an effect on our sleep, so that it can affect our sleep cycles, because the blue light that is coming from these devices, it can trick our brains to thinking that it is still during daytime, making it very difficult to sleep. And it could also encourage antisocial behavior, being too much online. And it can also have some or it can have some health issues. Now, here are some concerns. There are some concerns that children are spending less time outdoors, and we especially with their peers, because they are on their devices too much. Now, when it comes to families, we are extra protective. we take care of the youngest users by providing parents with the best support to help their children enjoy quality content that actually parents feel good about. So we want to take some of that concerns from your side, and a good way to start is to set up a family link. You will need to create a Google account in order for you to be able to set up the family link. You'll need to create a Google account from your child, for your child as an adult family member. And then in your child, if your child is under 13, remember the policy is that if you are below 13, you're not even allowed to be on the social media, and or even to have a Gmail account. So you can the parents can set up the family the Gmail account. Uh, First of all, they set up their own. They need one themselves, and then they can follow the prompts from the family link. It is an application that you can freely download from the Google App Store. Once you download it, then and you also need to install the same on your child's gadget. And once you do this, the child will then log in using the Gmail account you created for them. Remember, the trick is you need to create a Gmail account for your child that is connected or that is linked to your Gmail account. And that Gmail account you have connected is what your child is going to use to log into their device. Remember that in order to be able to use the Android device, there is that Gmail account, for instance, that you will need to use to activate it. This is where Google comes in to assist you as a parent, by making sure that you let Google know that that device is with a minor. And so once we are able to set up the family link, if you download it, it has prompts. Actually, it will guide you through, and you can download it from the Google App Store. Once you're able to go through all the prompts, then you as the caretaker, you'll be able to activate the family link manager, and that's what you want. If you can activate the family link manager, then remember that your child's device now is linked to your Gmail account. You'll have some control over it. And what are some of the advantages that you will get out of this? The family link will allow you to manage the apps that your kids is using. It will also allow you to temporarily lock your child's device at different times of the day. It will also allow you to set appropriate screen time limits, and you can even be able to lock your child's device remotely. So you can manage their devices, you can hide specific applications whenever it's time to play or time to study or time to sleep. For example, on bedtime, you can set a bedtime routine to lock your child's phone while they sleep. So instead of taking the device from them, you just lock it so that if it's time for bed, they cannot be able to use their screen. They can still continue having their device, but they cannot be able to use it. Or if when it's time for homework, you can actually lock it, and you can remember that you can do all this remotely. You might decide the right amount of screen time for your child, and this depends on what they are doing, what are they watching, what are they playing, and or what are they playing. And the family link, it has a reports activity where it can let you know, get this kind of information. And if you want to, let's say, like, when you are setting up all these settings, remember that when you're setting this screen time, let the child know that these settings that you are putting up, they can evolve over time. You're not setting them up once and then you forget. Let your child know that as they grow older, then you can be able to change these settings, so that they can evolve over time. And again, keep an eye on usage. You might decide that you might decide the right amount of screen time for your child, depending on what they are watching or what they are playing or what they are learning. You can use the Family Links application activity reports to see which apps that your child is using the most, and remember to offer them support. Experts actually suggest that we should focus more on what the children are doing online than unless focusing less on how long they are online. Encourage them to engage with games and applications that can teach them creativity or problem solving skills. Now, this could be a good time to remember what we can do with the Family Link, that we can use it remotely to control what our kids are doing, so that we can help them if we see that they are having challenges, maybe in balancing um, their time properly. Now, on the comment section again, how would you talk about to your children about screen time? How do you talk about screen time with your child? Or do you just set the rules and they have to follow, or do you involve them? That is something else. How would you talk to your children about screen time? On the comment section again, you can let us know how you can do this, uh, and how the approach that you can use. um, Maybe how do you allow time for homework and not social media? How do you keep a positive relationship so that you don't use the screen time as a form of punishment? And what to do? What would you do, or what to do when your child only wants to spend time online? So like they don't want to go play with their peers, they just want to play online. So how would you talk about your child to your children about screen time? Now, of course, it's important for your children to know and understand why finding screen time balance is important. And this one is very important. The kids have to understand this. For that reason, we would like to suggest using these three discussion points when talking about screen time with your children. You can, for instance, ask, does technology ever prevent you from being present? You can even talk about how devices can sometimes cause people to miss out on things that matter to them. Or maybe you can talk about a time when you are not fully there for a particular moment because you are on your phone. And then or you and ask and then ask your kids whether they have observed others, their friends or maybe their family members, who not being fully present with the people who are around them. Have your kids also experience ask your kids, have you also experienced a time when you are distracted from an important moment because of technology? This will center the discussion on why it's important to find a balance. Now, uh, now what something else, focus on why, focus on why does it matter, because this is also something that your child needs to understand. Why does it matter? Now, like is it during homework that you need to really focus on what you are doing and focus less on your phone? And again, reflect on ways that you can control screen time. Allow your children to help you come up with a solution on how to balance their own screen time. So involve them so that when you're talking about this, they are also part of the solution. This brings us to this part about sharing, because we need to think about sharing. We have said set rules about that are normally that are centered around screen time, that are centered around sharing, because the digital age has made it super easy to share or to share information and to connect with friends and families through our mobiles and also through our social media. But however, this accessibility comes with some consequences. And I don't know, as a parent, can you think of any negative consequence to the freedom of expression that has come with sharing online, maybe with children, especially on freedom of expression? Because when you are sharing things, it's like you are trying to express yourself, but this can have some negative impacts. Have you ever experienced any any negative consequence? You can again use the comment section. Keep these comments going, because that's how we can interact with one another. I can understand where you are coming from, so that I can also know how to respond to your concerns. Like now, for instance, invasion of privacy. Mm, it can happen. A good example is even where you're taking a group photo. Just because you look good in it, and you share this out, but does your neighbor who you are sitting next to or standing next to feel the same way? Again, it can also bring things like social comparison, because everybody can see which family was where for holidays, and this can be a big thing for our children, because it can bring in that aspect of social comparison. And again, something that children don't understand uh, about digital footprints. They don't understand about digital footprints, and that's why we need to be involved. Now, create rules around what to share, and creating this, it's actually going to help your family to move to be more aware about their information that is out there, and also what is it, and how something like photos, private information about the family, they will be able to understand this. Now, here are some discussion points that we recommend for talking to your family about the consequences of sharing too much online. Like, one, teach your kids that about digital footprint. I have said many people are not aware of this. They sometimes they even fall for the fallacy that because you're not using your real name, you can be whoever you want and you can say what you want. This is a false sense of security. There is that footprint that can always read back to you, and as a family, you need to understand, to together with your children, you can try to search online for maybe for yourself, or maybe for a musician that they love, and then talk about what you find, and talk about again um, what others can learn about them, about the results that you have found, either about your family, or about them, or about their favorite artist. But you might want to do this beforehand, so that you are aware of what you are going to find. You might find content that might also be making you uncomfortable about yourself, or something about your family. Now, you can also help to minimize social comparison. The best way to go about this is that to let your kids know that what their friends are sharing online is just part of the story. Um, it's part of the story, and it's usually the highlights. Remind them that everyone also has a boring and a sad moment, an embarrassing moment that they don't want to share. And again, three, teach your kids about oversharing. Brainstorm solutions, for instance, for oversharing, such as taking down what was shared, or fixing privacy settings. We need to really talk about privacy settings. We need to have the right settings set up for the applications we are using and when we are sharing content online. And uh, if it happens, help them uh, keep a perspective, or keep things in perspective. That is, uh, some embarrassing moments can be serious, but others are just learning moments. And then number four, you need to establish your family values online, and especially around harassment and bullying. Be clear about how you expect them to act online, like e.g., treating others as they want to be treated, and saying online only what they would want to, they can only be able to say when they are face to face. And again, talk about the meaning behind somebody's words, because this is something else that has brought a lot of conflict. Talk about the tone and the voice. Remind your children that it's easy to misinterpret somebody's meaning online, and therefore encourage them to assume good intent. That one is important. And also talk to their friends directly if they are unclear about their meaning. Talk about how good it feels to send and also to receive positive messages online, and consider using one of your own applications. You can use it together with your to send a family, to send a positive comment, or a positive message together with your kids. Remember that a better internet, one that is free of bullying, division, hate, and crime, isn't just an aspiration. It's truly possible, and it starts with the individual digital user. It starts with you. It starts with me, and the next generation of users that we are raising up. Uh, Now, let's talk about family values as the last part. On family values, the digital age has made it super easy, as I said, to share info online. And we are able to connect with friends and families through our mobile devices and also through the social media. However, this accessibility comes with some consequences. I don't know whether you can think of any negative consequence that has. I want us to go back to that particular slide. Have you some of the negative consequence that has come up out of oversharing? As I was saying, invasion of privacy, social comparison, digital footprint. We have seen how we can manage this, but have you come across any other? Uh, have you come across any other um, that has invaded on what was shared? Now, uh, on this, being able to establish the family values online, one, be clear about what you expect, how you expect them to act when they are online. We have already said this, and it is very important. Instead of just setting the ground rules, when you are setting them up, set them up from the angle of your expectations, and then have some ground rules about online harassment. Uh, Set some ground rules. Talk about the power of positive messages online. These are some of the things that we have been able to look at. Now, let's have some time off, and if there are some questions that have come up, this is a good time to look at them. I can let the moderator to say something if there are some questions that have come up, then or you as the viewer to actually ask a question here about what we have already discussed. Then before we go to the next part, the next module. You can ask now. Okay, let's talk about how you can discover family friendly content, because this is another area. We need to we need to Let me ask you this: how do children use the internet? Okay, I know we have already gone through it. What we think they are when they are online, what they are doing, and uh, but do you know what kind of apps that they are using? And are we aware of what kind of content that they are consuming? Because this is what it is all about in this new module that we are going to look at. Because uh, most of the content that they come across will sometimes will depend on their child's age and maturity level. That can be the case, especially if you have set up a family link. Uh, but you need to get a sense of what, but get a sense of what is the most worrying to parents, and how you can currently monitor. This is important. If your children come across some content that you don't want, how can you monitor? Sometimes it can be difficult to monitor what your child is viewing, because they can have access to this material on the internet, on any internet enabled device, including the mobile devices, such as some of the phones that they have, the computers, and also their tablets. But we need now we know that kids will be kids, because naturally kids are curious, but there are some technical tools. This is what I want you to get. There are some technical tools and some parental tools that you can use to filter content, and also to filter sites. And we need to look, and the best approach to go about this. And this is what we are looking at in this particular part. The family link, which we have already discussed, it provides a comprehensive set of features, maybe for finding and managing family friendly content. You need to set content restrictions, maybe in Google Play, through the family link, where you can also be able to blacklist or to whitelist some specific websites. uh, you can be able to set filters for web browsing, and you can be able to turn safe search with the family link. And but if getting parental control coverage, uh, like setting up the family link on each and every of your family's devices, it seems too difficult, then you might consider the services or the features that have been made available through your broadband providers, because sometimes they might provide some solutions. Now, if you're using the Chrome browser, and this is available freely for download, there is a feature that lets you create different account profiles for supervised users and for managers. And this gives you complete control on how your children use the internet. Safari, Safari browser also have built-in restriction settings that you can activate to block adult content. Firefox and Internet Explorer, these browsers, they all have varying parent controls that you can activate, and you need to find out how you can activate them, and activate them so that you can filter. Now, you can even go one step further. Maybe on certain websites and the internet platforms such as Google and YouTube and iTunes, you can also switch on a family friendly filter that should identify and filter potentially adult content. Once again, there are no flawless systems when it comes to that you can use, but so we have to keep an eye as parents. We must use these tools alongside other parental controls. Now, Google Safe Search is one of the primary parental control options that is offered by Google. It helps parents to police the search results. Safe Search also helps to filter out adult content or and also potentially explicit content out of the search results. Mm, Now, how can you turn the safe search on? Maybe on the, I would ask the moderators on the comments section, they can share this link on how that the one that if you click on it, then it can take you from the device that you want to set up safe search on. And especially if you are using Google Chrome, it will take you direct to where you can activate the safe search option, but it's on your settings. Now, YouTube also has restricted mode. It has different modes, and YouTube community guidelines. It includes guides on something things like nudity or sexual content, hateful content, harmful or dangerous content, and also graphic content. Now, while YouTube works hard to ensure that the videos meet their community guidelines, sometimes due to the high volume of content that is uploaded on to the site each and every day, some of the content might break these guidelines, and so they might still be available for view. But apart from this, just because something is acceptable under the guidelines doesn't make it automatically appropriate for users of all ages. So you need to set up the restricted mode. You understand your family better, so you understand the restrictions that you need to set up. Now, restricted mode is there to help protect, to help especially the YouTubers experience, especially when you are watching content together as a family. And when it is enabled again, then it is able even to filter. You not be able to see the comments, so that the comments on the videos, so that you can avoid unwanted family discussions. Now, but please note that YouTube requires an account holder to be 18, but a 13-year-old can sign up, but with parental permissions. Okay, now, mm, we have already explained this, how you can set that up, but there's something I want you to know about YouTube Kids. This is a specialized video app for the young ones. The app was tailored towards children. It has specially curated content with parental controls and filtering. So YouTube Kid is the first Google product that was built from the ground up with the kids and families in mind. And the YouTube Kids app often offers a more contained YouTube experience for the kids, and the content is generated by the YouTube creators, but it uses the power of the Google systems to try and filter out the content that may not be appropriate for the kids. So instead of your kids watching YouTube on the normal YouTube, I would suggest that you install for them the YouTube for Kids, where you have some control as a parent. And again, you can read about the options that are available for parental control about YouTube Kids, again on the link that will be shared on the comments. Now, here is another amazing app called Read Along. Again, it's freely available. It's an Android app that was developed in aid to help kids grades 1 to 5. But if you ask me, it can go all the way to kids about grade 11. It's designed to help them learn how to read confidently, anytime, anywhere, using their own voice. And it's a speech-based reading app that encourages the children to read aloud, just the way they naturally do, and it makes it making it an engaging way to learn and read. Actually, read along, it uses the existing speech recognition and text to speech technology, uh, and it has a Google Assistant. It's There's even inside the app, there's an AI powered reading buddy called Dear. So Dear encourages them to learn and to read by giving your kids positive reinforcement when they read correctly, and it also helps them by giving suggestions when they don't. So some of the benefits of this app include the kids are able to read independently with a friendly assistant, so that it can free some time for you. They have a reading buddy inside the app. Then it has a global collection of stories. It makes learning playful, and it is getting better by the day. And it has even personalized profiles, so that each and every kid can have their own personalized profile, and it can work even without Wi-Fi. But even more importantly, it's private and it is secure, so it's something that you can even use when you are offline. um, Now, Dia can read entire sentences. It can even highlight each word as it reads, so that your kids can follow along. And as children read aloud, then Dia detects if the child is struggling with a passage of a text, and it can provide positive reinforcement. It can ask, and the kids can even ask Dia at any time to help them read a sentence or to pronounce a word that they don't know or understand. And the users can tap on any word to hear it pronounced. uh, when they can practice reading a word, the app then will highlight it in. If the kids is able to read it correctly, then the app can highlight it in green. And even for the non-native speakers of the language, Dia explains the meaning of a word or a sentence in the native language by tapping on the help. And this app, it can keep track of the progress on the sentence, and proactively offers support if it detects that the user is struggling. If it detects that your child is struggling to read, it's able to offer some help. Read along actually offers over 100 stories per language, and with recommendations, books that can also be downloaded offline, and the users can correct rewards, so that this helps to drive the learning or by our kids. Now, it's a free app. It's free. You can download it. Again, I'll share the link to what to how you can download this amazing app, uh, and you can use it. On the comment section, you'll find uh, how you can download it. Now, how do you protect your family from negative content? Again, on the comments, talk about how 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 do you protect your family, um, especially from negative content. Now, here is some scenarios, some ideas, just some ideas. One is start a conversation. talk to your child about what they might find on the internet and help them understand that sometimes they may come across things that they would prefer not to see, or that might make them upset. Encourage them to come and talk about it. That's one thing they can you can do. And then think before you click is something else. Help your child understand that clicking on pop-ups and links in unsolicited emails, uh, or some offers that seem too good to be true, may end up with them accessing content that they did not intend to see. Help them to learn to ignore these pop-ups. And something else is that supervise if you can. We said use these technological tools alongside other parental controls. Supervise where it may be ideal for younger children, especially. You can try by being in the same room with your child when they are online, and that way you can keep an eye on what kind of content that they are accessing. And again, we can again pause here for some questions. I can see we have some questions on the comments. Maybe I can pick one. If you have a child who is defensive to matters online, what can you do? Yes, it's true. That's why we were even talking about the family link, because when you have the family link, and if you can set it up properly, then you can be able to help to remotely be able to monitor what they are doing. And again, remember what we said, that what is of concern to the parent is what are they doing, not so much as how long they are there, but what are they doing when they are online. So this family link can help you better understand the landscape and your child, because it will give you reports behind the scenes. Maybe the only thing I would like to say at this juncture is that if your child already had a Gmail account that they have been using, maybe you need to package that. They can have it back when they are old enough, but for now you can package that one, and then set up a Gmail link that is linked to your Gmail, and then factory reset their device and install the family link. That way, they cannot be able to bypass the security settings that you set, and you can get all manner of useful reports concerning what your child is doing online, the apps they are accessing. And again, remember that knowing how to have a conversation about what is going on is as important as knowing what they are doing. That might be my input, and this will bring us to the last module about how you can protect your family's online security and privacy. We are so much, we build good houses, we put fences around our homes, we put security, we take security very seriously when it is offline. I don't know what happens when we go online and then we bring down these barriers. So in this particular module, we will be looking at how do you protect your family's security and privacy, and especially online. Now, what is the most popular social media platform for kids? Do you think you know which is the most popular social media platform for the kids? On the comments, you can try and put it up. What you think is the most popular uh, uh, social media what platform for the kids today? Now, we live online, and children as well as adults, we like to post pictures online, and our online profiles also they have a lot to say. They have a lot of personal information about us. with somebody just by looking at our profile can be able to see our to give our age or to estimate our age, to guess our school, our location, and even be able to give activities, the activities that we like. Unfortunately, this type of information only helps scammers and groomers to manipulate the children. And with children removing the privacy settings, that leaves a lot of information open on the web for anyone to use. Children, they might know how to use the technology, but they don't know how to set up security and privacy settings properly. We need to assist them on that juncture. And the first step to helping your children to stay safe is understanding ourselves, the type of information available on each platform, and on what privacy settings that are there for us to control. Now, we all know you care about your family's security online, and what affects your child also affects the entire family. And what kind of dangers to both your family and your own security exists, and especially when you are participating on online activities. Talk about this. Talk about, do you understand these dangers yourself, that your family is exposed to, because we are online. We have all agreed we are online, but what dangers do we are we exposed to, so that we know how we can protect ourselves. And again, we are going to cover these three areas. One is the stranger danger. We really insist on our kids don't talk to strangers, but I wonder how 15-year-old can have 500 friends online. And so there is that stranger danger, there is this identity theft, and there is cyberbullying. These are serious issues that we need to think about as a family. Now, also known as online grooming, that's what we talk this stranger danger. There is something called online grooming, and this is a word, if you have never heard of it, this is a word that is used to describe people who befriend children in order to take advantage of them for sexual purposes. And on the internet, it's very easy to pretend to be someone else on the internet, and sometimes we don't know who we are talking to. Somebody can have a fake profile, we have never met them, so we know them the way they want us, uh, they want us to know them, but not who they are. So there is always that danger. We might not know, somebody can be pretending to be someone else on the internet. And so children can sometimes end up having conversations with people whose real identities they may not know. And we need to start by understanding some of the things to look out for as parents. One, you can say that online grooming, we can say that it can be hard for parents to recognize, because it can happen when the children are at home. Because even online groomers, they may want these children not to talk about it to anyone. And online groomers, again, they are not always strangers. In many situations, they may already be known to the children. They might have met them either on family or on social activities, and they then use the internet to build a rapport with them. And sometimes the children don't realize that they have been groomed, and that they think that the person is their boyfriend or their girlfriend. You may want to investigate further, yeah, especially if you see your child exhibiting any of these signs, like being secretive about what they are talking to, or who they are talking to online, or maybe using sexual language that you wouldn't expect them to know, or even switching the screens when you come near the computer. When you find them that they are switching the screens, then that should raise some flags on you, that maybe on what they are, or about what they are up to. And grooming can be very tricky. It can be a tricky subject to talk about. But a good way is to say that you can start a conversation with your child by saying that you have read a story about this happening, and then ask them if they know of any of their friends who have experienced a similar anything similar or a similar situation. You can even talk about have a conversation about what annoys them. Let them tell you about what annoys them. That can be a very good conversation starter to talk about some of these things. And again, uh, you need to talk about the risks. Make sure that your child knows that not everyone online is who they say they are. Encourage them to come up and talk to you, especially if they are not certain about the identity of the person they are of who they are talking to. And again, you need to agree on the rules. Discuss with your family about your stand, especially about sharing information with strangers online. Let them not share. And even about keeping secrets from parents, and the boundaries to individual privacy. uh, your son or your daughter might be difficult, but they need to understand the boundaries to individual privacy. And what is your stand as a family when it comes to sharing pictures of their bodies, pictures of their house, or pictures of their friends, and especially when they have not really set up the privacy settings properly. Uh, Now, meetings or you can, what is your stand as a family about meeting friends that they have met online in an offline space? Let them know that you might not encourage that as a family, but you need to stay engaged as a parent. From time to time, you need to review the social media together with your child. uh, you and your family, or you and another family member, you might even want to befriend them online. But if you become their friend online, it's better that you just watch and observe. Don't take part, but just observe, so that you can help them where they are having challenges. You need to stay engaged. Follow them online. Now, it's important to note that just like adults, children may be at risk of having their online identity stolen and being misused, and it can be difficult to maintain a child's privacy, as they may not understand what information is safe to share online, or what default privacy settings that are available on the sites that they are visiting. If a child's identity is stolen, it might not be noticed for many years. um, and it can later on it can later on lead to cases of your child being a victim of blackmail, or being a victim of bullying, or being a victim of grooming. So that's why we need to really set up these privacy settings properly, to protect our children's online identities, so that it is not stolen. And you also need to know about some of the things to look out for. When it comes to this, you may start to suspect that your child's own identity has been stolen. For instance, if you get a bill for something that they have not ordered, or they start to get emails from an organization that they don't recognize, or maybe sometimes they even get letters regarding government benefits or tax payments then you can suspect that this should raise some flags that all is not well. Now you need to check these privacy settings. I cannot talk about these privacy settings enough, because that is a very good place to start. Go through the privacy settings with your child for every social network site or every app that they have or they are signed up to, and agree with them what they will share and with whom. Because posting is, I have seen people posting like even family portraits, but the portrait has been shared publicly. It's like, it's like hanging our family portrait outside our gates, but we don't do this. We hang it inside our house. So setting these privacy settings properly will make sure that whatever we are sharing will only get to the intended audience. Just like the person we let inside our house is the one who will be able to see our family portrait. Even when we are online, we need to understand that we need to have these settings set up properly, and go through this with your child so that they understand what is happening. And again, check their device settings, uh, like on their smartphones. And some of the things that you want to really find out about is like something about location. Is their device set up to give up their location? Are they sharing contacts or photos, or are they sharing their corridor? These are some of the things you want to find out about, not about the applications they are using about or about the sites, but specifically on the device that they are using. Have these settings set up properly. If, for instance, you see their device is set up to give up their locations, you can customize it. Now, find out what is already out there. Find out, go with your child. You can even try searching using different search engines. Type your full name of your child, and see what information that is already out there already. And it is appearing on which particular platforms, and then actually take action. You need to take action. You can go incognito on the websites where they are appearing, and you can remove inaccurate comments that they could have been tagged on, that they could have made, or you can even remove the inappropriate photographs that they might have posted. And also always remind them that if they are using a public computer or a device that doesn't belong to them, then it's good to use the incognito browsing, because when they close it, then it's going to delete their history. But as a layer, as something else, if your child's identity has been stolen, then be sure to tell the affected website about the problem, and again get your child to log in, and also to change their password. uh, that's what I would say about that, about privacy settings. And we have seen that these are as important when we are online as they are important when we are offline. And again, also remember that I don't know whether you as a parent know that you can have settings on each and every social media platform, all of them. You can be able to customize their settings. And on when it comes to YouTube is a little bit different, because on YouTube you set the settings on the on the video itself, the video that you have uploaded. Then that's where you can have the settings. uh, you can go to your channel, then you can go to your videos, and on the privacy settings you can choose either you want it private, you want it unlisted, or you want it public. Unlisted means that the video can be seen by people who you give the link to the video, but it will not be available to other people who are just browsing. Those are some of the settings that you can have, maybe on YouTube. You set the setting on the video you upload, and like on the social media platforms, go to the social media platforms, each individual, find about privacy settings and set the right privacy settings for your family. If each family is different, so we cannot have a blanket settings that, but you can help your kids come up with settings that agree to your family values. But now ask yourself, even if we lock down, you are you protect yourself by having the right settings. Of what use is it if your password is 12345 6? Anybody can guess it, and remember that anybody who has access to your who can access your profile, then they have access to all the information that is there. And furthermore, once the account has been hacked, always remember that a scammer can then use this information to influence other people, like maybe your friends and also your family members. Therefore, one of the best protections against fraud is having a strong password. Uh, but and when you are creating a password, always make it unique. Don't have one password to log in to all the sites. Have each and every site, let it have a unique password that is memorable. The password needs to be memorable, yes. It needs to be 8 characters long. Make it as long as possible. Have a combination of uppercase and lowercase combined with special characters and numbers. If you can have a password that has a combination of all those numbers, uh, letters that are both uppercase and lowercase, special characters, and make it about 8 characters long, at least that one it will not be easy to hack into your account. But don't forget to make it memorable, because again, there is no need to have a password that you will not remember. uh, so and again, if we can look at the last section, cyberbullying. We need to talk. Do you know what is cyberbullying? um, Cyberbullying, and how is it different from other forms of bullying? Like when we were growing up, when we came up across bullying, the way you understood it then is not the way it is today. There is cyberbullying, and it's really important that children who are bullied online know what simple steps they can take to help them cope, and also how they can be able to ask for support. And on the comments, what would you think cyberbullying is? And how is it different to other forms of bullying? You can use the comment section to talk to us about this. What you think cyberbullying is, and how different it is from other forms of bullying. Is it as serious as other forms of bullying? That one is would be good. Now, bullying definitely has changed as the digital world has come up, and the social media makes it with that false sense of being anonymous, and also with the instant messaging apps, and the having making it possible for us to share experiences. uh, Cyberbullying, we need to understand that cyberbullying is a little bit different from the traditional form of bullying, in that it doesn't just take place at school or in the street. It can encroach even inside your home, when your children are using their smartphones and also their tablets, and it's a new form of bullying that many parents are not familiar with. And one of the biggest differences is that cyberbullying, it can be hard to get away from, because as we have seen, it can even follow your child right at home. Now, here are some words that are connected with bullying and cyberbullying. Maybe you have heard about them, maybe you have not, like harassment, whereby this is the targeting of an individual or a group with persistent and offensive messages. You can also have something like an outing. Outing is publicly sharing personal information or private and embarrassing information, photos, on videos about someone online. When we talk about trolling, this is whereby this is deliberately posting provocative and insulting messages about sensitive subjects, or maybe inflicting things like racism, tribalism, on an individual. Uh, there is something like bans, and this one kids can really get away by saying it was just for fun. Whereby so you need to understand about bans. Then there is roasting, where this is like ganging up on an individual online, and then many people, you said this person offensive messages, abusive messages, until the victim seems to crack. Imagine if your child is going through this. And there's also griefing, where they're like abusing and angering people through online gaming. So um, it's important to know what to look out for. That's what we said that from the beginning. It's important to know what to look out for, but even more important, it's important to understand how you can have a conversation, or how you can start a conversation around it. How do you talk? Some do's, find out why, and try to have an open mind when you are finding out why about the facts. When you find either your child is involved, is being bullied, or is a bully, find out why, and find get the facts right, and talk it through with them, uh, and again let them understand the thin line between content uploading and sharing, because sometimes we don't understand that what we are doing is not sharing, but it's like we are uploading everything about ourselves. Some of it can cause offense, or it can cause hurt. And then always teach by example, model the right behavior for your kids to follow, and also learn from it. Help your child to understand what has happened, and think about what you can do differently as a family, uh, to help, but don't get upset. uh, Again, don't ignore it, uh, don't condone it, and even don't take away their devices. This could make the situation worse, and even encourage them to find other ways to get online. Uh, those are some of the tips. But it would be great to have conversation starters, and especially if you find your child is being bullied. Uh, Talk about whether they have ever witnessed it happening to somebody else. The same tips we were using elsewhere. Uh, Let them know that you understand how embarrassing it can be to talk about it, but encourage them to do it. Um, uh, and it's important to notice here that no parent likes to think their child that they could be a bully online. But young people can sometimes be drawn into this behavior without even realizing the impact of their actions. Help your child understand what is the scenario out there, and what are some of the ways that you'd bring up bullying with your children. You can also talk about this on the comments, about some of the ways that would bring up how you discuss bullying with your child. You can talk about this on the comments, and as I give you a chance also to ask a question on at this juncture, because that actually brings us to the end of the training. But I still have some resources I want to share with you as parents. So, and links, I'm going to share some links that are very useful and it is going to help you cement on what we have been discussing. I know we have talked about a lot, but the links we are going to have and the resources we are going to give will help you even get more insights on how to help your child and your family. So um, okay, TikTok, yes, TikTok is one of the apps. And even you as a parent, do you understand TikTok, Snapchat? You might say, I don't know them, I have never heard about them, but this is you as a parent not knowing about it. Sometimes it's like allowing your child to cross a busy highway without any form of training. Something is bound to give. You don't want that. So maybe that's why some of the parents feel there is some concern for more to learn more, because where your child is, you need to understand that environment very well, so that you are able to assist your child in case of anything. Cyberbullying is online bullying. Yes, thank you, Bikiari. And it's serious than other forms, in that, in my opinion, as it follows a person everywhere. Very good. Yes, it can follow you even at home, even as you go to bed. The bully can, with the moment you go online, they can be there. And sometimes parents might underestimate the what this can be doing to their kids, but in the eyes of their child, or of that child, uh, you can just find them withdrawn and unable to concentrate. It can be very serious. So we need to understand. Here are some tips and resources that you need to have as a parent. One of them is Google, the Google safety. This is a link. And also you also need to explore what is on the Google Safety Center. It is tailored. This is something that is tailored and it contains a lot of relevant tools and resources to help your family stay safe online. You will get the link to that, to the Google Safety link. Then there's this one, Be Internet Awesome. Again, your kids will be trained on how to be smart, alert, strong, kind, and brave. Like strong, when we were talking about passwords, I know I have just mentioned it, but when they go to this site, and they can really be taught on how to be strong, how they can create a strong password that they can be able to protect the family's privacy, how to be kind, how to be brave. Brave here means they are able to come to you and talk about it when they find something that is making them uncomfortable. You'll get a link again to that. Then there is this Be Internet Awesome. This is like a game that you can play with your kids, and it's beneficial to parents because it will let them learn all what we have been talking about in a fun and in a game way. Again, we have the Digital Well-being Family Link. Again, that one, you also get it on the internet. The Digital Well-being Family Guides. This is a guide for your family that they can use. And just know that it's important not to bury our heads in the sand about technology. And when parents, we need to be involved in what our children are doing online. Have conversations about digital safety, and let this conversation be two-way. Talk about the benefits as versus the dangers of online, being online. And again, some here is another link about 4 simple ways that can help you build a conversation on the online security. Here again, you'll also get that particular link. And again, as I have said, I know we have covered a lot today, and but I have given you some resources that you can use and to find positive content. Uh, how you can be able to set up your family privacy settings properly, uh, and but most importantly, uh, opportunities for you to talk about some of the issues, the digital issues with your child. And I think with that, uh, you can give us on the comment section what was your key takeaway from this particular uh, training. You can give that us. That brings us to the end of today's training. But on the comment section, talk about what you can take away. But don't forget to also to fill the feedback form. It has been shared severally on the comment section. Find it and fill it, uh, just to give some feedback about the training. Thank you so much, and I will allow our moderator to take up at this particular juncture. Feel welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. I think we need to give a round of claps to Mike. There should be digital way to do hand claps. I think you've done justice to the topic, Mike. Thank you very much. I've learned quite a lot. I didn't know there was a YouTube for kids. I think I also followed up on aspects like you can have parental controls, especially on the browsers that your children are using. Yeah, so I joined a bit late, but I really enjoyed the context and especially the aspects of online safety. This conversation continues, and just like Michael has said, you can still be able to follow all the discussions online, and that is the active Google link. So, and I think there are tons of resources that also Michael shared that you can be able to use, share with your friends, share with your children, share them in school, spread the message. I think we all deserve that. This is an interesting and a very important topic. And so this link will still be very active. So even tomorrow you can send this link to anyone who did not manage to attend this session. Yeah, so thank you very much, Michael, for that interesting training. And just maybe one or two issues that I could maybe talk about, because I know our time is really spent, is that besides the online safety, we also have another product known as Google for Education. As you are aware, with COVID, education has stalled, and we have children at home, they are unable to continue the education. But Google have come up with an interesting platform known as Google for Education. And Sote Hub, we are a reseller in Kenya. So in case you need this Google for Education, kindly get in touch with us. I think, Marcella, you can put up the email address. Yes, that is info@sotehub.com. I think there's also a telephone number there. So kindly get back to us in case you need this. It's quite affordable. Yeah, I think that is it. I think I want to thank the Cape Town Science Center, who are our main contact for this. And I also want to thank Google, who sponsored and enabled this training to happen. And we're really glad that we have an opportunity in this country. I think we are all aware that Kenya has had a lot of issues. Last year, if I remember, there was a program online that was teaching kids how to commit suicide. and government, I think it was realized early enough, and it was banned from the platform. And I think you all also, we are aware about the cyber crimes happening in the country. Lots of money is lost in banks. We have issues with insecurity, the Al-Shabaab and things like this. And it all starts online. And I think this lesson was absolutely spot on in terms of how to stay safe, how to ensure that our children are safe, both in school and at home. So the next training, I think, is in Nairobi, and we'll have a very excellent trainer, very wide experience, who will be joining us. But it doesn't only mean that only you're from Nairobi you can join the training. So whatever part of the country you are in, you are welcome to be able to join the training. So that is it from us. Thank you very much, those of you who managed to make it for this meeting, and thanking once again our sponsors, that's Google and Cape Town Science Center. So until next time, thank you. Let the conversation continue online, and give us your comments, give us your views. We'll share all these resources, and we look forward to engaging you further. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.